Hello everybody, this is Marty. Welcome back to the channel with a new episode of F1 2018, and this is the next round of the championship we are running at China, and this is actually my best quali lap for this race. And well, to be honest, I was pretty satisfied with this lap. Already run a 35.8 in my very first run, and this is like my second run, and we lost some time in that very first run in a couple of corners, and I already felt like there was a bit of time to gain. But as you can see, we're already in 11th place, which is quite satisfying, especially if you take a look at those earlier results from earlier races, which weren't that good. Obviously, we scored our very first point that last race in Bahrain, but when now we're in China, and we had a bit of raining conditions in practice, which wasn't ideal, especially in this track. But as you can see, we're already 6 tenths up in our at our very first hot lap, and we're aiming at the 35 low maybe for this qualified session, and that should be able to get us the top 10 spot. Which we haven't gained before, so that would be a great result for this qualified session. As you guys can see, only a couple of minutes left for this qualified session, and losing a little bit of time in this corner, locking the front right a little bit, cost us maybe like 2 tenths into the last corner for this quali lap, gaining a couple of tenths with a really nice apex, and we are able to achieve a 35.2, which gives us 8th place in the grid. That's an excellent position, 8th place in the grid, with Hamilton on pole and our teammate Charles Leclerc actually in 18th position. So that's excellent performance from our side. Should be able to get a good result in this race. Onto the start for the Chinese Grand Prix. Manual start, obviously, bit of difficult for me, but make the best of it. So we're onto the Chinese Grand Prix. Lights are off and losing a couple of positions already, but want to be aggressive in this very first lap, and a little bit of contact over there with one of the Renaults. I think Hulkenberg is actually gaining 2 positions. Actually side by side with the Haas, and that's Grosjean over there, getting a better exit, and we are into 6th position again. We were starting 6th position because 2 guys, Vettel and Verstappen, actually got a penalty, so we're into 6th position, which is a good position for us right now. If we finish at 6th position, we are very happy. So we're after Alonso, and Alonso, as you guys know, are the Renault engine, so we are very good hopes to beat him as well. So we were able to follow him this very first lap on those ultra soft tires. A little bit off the track over there, but this is the first lap, so we were able to do that. And getting the Euro system into overtake already. Might be able to get a pass on Alonso. We're very close, and with that Renault engine, we might be able to get that overtake already in this very first lap. So getting it into Erasmus 5 hot lap position. Fuel consumption is rich obviously, and trying to be able to get a good run, and we're closing into Alonso into that corner, and able to brake late and side by side with Alonso, locking the fronts a bit, but we are actually gained that position, so we are in 5th place. Making a little bit of contact, but nothing too serious. We are 5th place right now. We are so happy with that, and keep this position obviously it would be great, but it's a long race. Tires will run off, and as you guys know, I'm running all assists off, so I might be getting a little bit of trouble with the tires in a couple of laps. Might be not be able to keep the rear steady and stuff, but we are into 5th place, which is excellent position right now in the 3rd lap of the race. Actually moved a bit up in the race, and we have Alonso right behind us. He's very close, but we are able to keep position into this corner and locking the fronts again. As you guys can see, I'm really pushing the car. I really want to get a good result in this race, and actually feeling the track. I love this track. China is a great track. I really have a good feeling regarding this. Getting nice on the inside of this corner. Able to get a good entry on this corner as well, and that's that important, especially with the straights coming up. We do want to keep those guys behind, and actually are able to think strategically already. We're putting US in 2, and we want to release all the power into that long straight. We want to keep those guys behind. So ERS mode in 2 for like the entire lap, and right now we're switching into hot lap to get all the power on this straight to keep that Renault engine behind. And we're actually able to do that because we have the Ferrari power, very strong engine. We want to keep Alonso behind, and as we approach the corner, we get the ERS back to 2 again, get the fuel consumption back to normal again, and keep Alonso behind. So this is the 4th lap of the race. We have Gasly right behind us. A couple of guys pitted already, and same strategy. We are not able to keep up with Bottas. I don't expect to keep up with Bottas, but we are unable to keep up with Bottas. So same thing. Locking up the front, and there's Gasly side by side with us. Able to keep that position, thankfully, and into the pits to switch to the soft tires. Let's make it a clean pit stop. And well, there's a guy behind us as well. I think it's Gasly maybe, or Verstappen, I don't know. But into the pits to run those soft tires, and they should last like 9 laps. We practice a bit with those tires, so we feel confident with that tire. But 9 laps, it's a long race, and those tires worn out pretty quickly. Into the pits. Let's make those boys get us a pretty good lap time. Back on track in 10th position, which is not so bad. Vettel right behind us. That's going to be a problem. Vettel is very fast in this track. It's a faster car. He should be able to pass us. One lap or another, he should be able to pass us. He has a faster car, so we don't have any high hopes of keeping Vettel behind. We're sliding the rear a little bit. And then there's Vettel right behind us. We have cold tires. Vettel already warmed up. As you guys can see, this is the outlap after the pit stop. So no high hopes of getting a really good outlap, but still Vettel's behind, saving the ERS system. We already know we're gonna need all the power we get. This is a little bit too wide, and then we have Vettel on the right of us, but he's on the outside line, so we're able to keep position. But we want all that power on the straight. It's very important, all the power on the straight. And then there's Vettel again on the inside. He is already on the inside. We're locking up, and he's gained as a position. This is a really awful thing. But then there's the straight again, and we have saved us some ERS. We are right behind Vettel. We have the ERS system, so we might be able to pass him back. So all the power is there. We are in 5th. ERS mode, we have full rich fuel consumption, and then there's the ERS system gaining into Vettel and braking really late, and we are able to get that position back. So we are into 10th position. But keep in mind, guys, still a couple of guys that need to make that pit stop, and yeah, we should be able to get a good result running very wide into that corner to be able to keep position with Vettel, who's only like half a second behind us. Right in front of us is Gasly. He was actually able to gain a position on us with that pit stop, but we might be able to get the position back because I feel like we have better pace than Gasly at the moment. The car might not be that good, but we have excellent setup and excellent pace might be able to pass Gasly. And as you guys can see, we're actually able to follow him relatively easily, especially with the ERS system into 2, so we might be able to gain a little bit of time on him and actually be able to get that position back again. So into ERS system 2 again, getting those corners nice and early, a little bit of oversteer, almost losing the position to Vettel again, who is right on my tail like for a couple of laps, and really have to look at my rear to not seeing Vettel pause again, and braking really late, gaining time on Gasly again, but keeping an eye on the ERS system as well. As you guys know, I'm running manual ERS system. I want to be able to get that power when I wanted it into the straight, putting the ERS system again up into 5. Skipping down the race a little bit, and we're right on the tail of Gasly right now. It's the 7th lap of the race. We have great tires, and into the inside, able to get side by side with Gasly. He's still on our inside, but we get a better exit. We are side by side again with Gasly, and we are actually able to get that position back. So we are in 8th place right now, which actually is our best result of the season. So we don't want to take that many risks, especially in this time of the race. It's the 7th lap of 14, and we want to take it a little bit easy on the tires as well because it's a long race. We are able to keep Vettel behind, keep Gasly behind. This is the 9th lap of the race. We only have 6 laps left, and we have Ocon in front, who hasn't pitted yet. Vettel's still running behind us. He was actually able to pass Gasly as well, so we are actually the faster cars, especially if you compare it to Gasly. But we are Vettel right on our rear, and we should try really hard to keep that guy behind. He obviously has the faster car, and there he is right beside us again, but already on the outside line. And this is all about who has the bigger balls, and we are able to keep the car on the inside. And Vettel obviously wasn't able to pass us over there, and he is actually still behind us in ninth place. And Ocon is in front of us, and we were actually able to gain a little bit of time on Ocon as well, running a little bit wide again, but no punishment this time. Braking at exactly the right time, getting the apex right, and we are actually able to gain time on Ocon, so we might be able to get that position as well. But right now it's all about looking into the mirrors and not really looking in front of us, because Ocon still needs to make a pit stop, and if we are able to get maybe 8th or 7th position, it would be a great result for us. So ERS system again into 5, braking really late, into 2 again to get the position back, ERS position back, and locking up the front a bit as well. Vettel's still right in our mirrors. You can see the arrows. Vettel's right in the mirrors. This is the 11th lap of the race. Vettel's still half a second behind us. And then there's the pit stop of Ocon and Hülkenberg. So we gain a position on Ocon, but Hülkenberg actually had a great strategy. He was able to pull through and actually was able to gain us a spot. So we are hoping to be able to get the position back, but Hülkenberg was in really fresh ultra soft tires, so we might not be able to get that position back. We're trying really hard, gaining time on our fastest lap, but as you can see, Hülkenberg really has great pace and he's able to keep that position. We still have Vettel behind. We're really hoping to keep that position. It ain't gonna be easy because my tires are wearing out, and with all those assists off, it's really difficult to be able to keep the car on track. And as you guys can see, Vettel's still in my rear, and he has the faster car, so he might be able to make a pass. And he is right behind us on the outside, braking really late, still on the outside, getting the inside, and just are able to keep that position. But for how long, guys? We still have 3 laps left, and Vettel is really close behind us, so we'll not be able to keep that position. This is the 11th lap of the race, and we still have 3 laps to go, so that might be a bit difficult for us to keep that position. As you guys can see, really using the ERS system until everything we are able to use, especially on the straight. We are not able to keep up with Hülkenberg, but we're just watching behind. We want to get in, keep the points for the team, for my own championship, of course. And as you guys can see, we are losing a little bit of time on my earlier lap time. And then there's Vettel again on the inside. He's getting a much better corner, and is able to be still on the outside on me, and he has better traction coming out of this corner. We are able to keep it alive, and we are actually not able to get that position back. So there's Vettel in 6th place, and there's Verstappen right behind us, and we're actually a bit worried to even get Verstappen seen pass by. But then there's Kimi Raikkonen out of the race, so that might gain us a spot as well. And as you guys can see on the left side in a couple of corners, then there's Kimi Raikkonen out of the race. We're still behind Vettel. Verstappen is right behind us. As you can see, there's Raikkonen. So we're up to 6th place, which is a great position for us. So it's all about keeping Verstappen behind us, and we're actually able to do that. As you guys can see, this is the last lap of the race. Verstappen is still behind us. We're using maximum performance of the ERS system, and it's all about keeping those last corners really smooth, really clean, and be able to brake late, not locking up the tires only a little bit, which is not too bad. But Verstappen actually is still behind us, so this is into the very last corner of this race. Chinese Grand Prix, this is it, the 6th position. Excellent performance from our side. We are very satisfied with it. This is the 6th position for Chinese Grand Prix, for Sauber Grand Prix. Our best results until this race. Really happy with that. And only Hülkenberg is in front of us. Otherwise, only the top teams. And We give guys like Verstappen and Gasly and stuff, and Leclerc only in last position, who are really satisfied with this race. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you follow the channel and catch you up another time. Bye.